It was about 2 years ago when we decided that we wanted to quit our jobs and sell all of our belongings and to travel the country and to find the perfect land and the perfect community for us to settle and raise and expand our family. In that process, we had a goal and a dream of making our life and our love our art, and to dedicate our lives to filmmaking and to meaning making. And honestly, we did do that. Like, it actually came true, our dream. But as romantic as it all can look, you know, reality is never what you think it's going to be like. Because life is awkward always, and it's fumbly, and it's confusing, and it can be scary, and it can be just like hard. Like, being a human sometimes is hard. It's never really what you think it's going to be. And now that our wandering retreat is coming to an end, and we're 1 week away from moving into our new home to begin our simple homesteading life, and as we shift into these really big changes, we're just like kind of questioning everything, and we're really trying to be honest about what actually serves us. Do we really want to keep creating YouTube videos? Like, do we want to keep sharing our lives with just anyone and everyone to comment on and to critique? Or do we want to protect this next phase of our lives and to really honor the sacredness and to invite more privacy? Do we want to keep the van? Do we want to just settle down and get more conventional jobs to make money? Do we really want to expand our family? What do we really want? What do we actually want? What do we really want? And yeah, it's really exciting, mostly just really exciting, but of course it's like scary because everything is about to change, and all of the things that we really held on to and the dreams that really pushed us through are not the same dreams. And so it's just a big transition, and instead of trying to present this transition to you with some pretty package like we know exactly what we're doing, we just want to be raw and real and totally honest about where we're at with all of this, because to be truthful, we really don't know. So yeah, here we go. All right, what's been going on?
We've been talking about this all week, what we want to say, but now that there's a camera in my face, it all feels more challenging to articulate.
I think we have a huge fear to talk about the things that we're actually like struggling with and processing, because a lot of times you'll get a response that's like, oh, don't focus on the negative comments, or just be positive. Or we have this huge fear of like being whiny and ungrateful. We're just realizing like now is a time that we need to just like be open and honest about how we're actually feeling, because we can sense it's boiling towards something, and we don't want it to feel shocking then when all of a sudden we have decisions that are based from those feelings.
So to just like paint a picture, this week we were editing the video, and we've been trying to like get ready to move into this house, and we're selling the van, and like been applying for jobs. I'm going to start working here, and it takes like several long days to film sometimes. Like, these segments are like beautiful moments, but it's like a process to film these and to upload all this footage, and then it's like 16 to like 30 hours sometimes of like editing these like videos and writing the scripts and the narration and blah 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 blah. And I just told Matt this week that I'm starting to realize, like, as much as it has been my biggest dream to travel and to live a life out loud and to be storytellers and to share the journey and have that be our art, it's taking so much from us. And unfortunately, like right now, the payoff, besides having a beautiful audience, you, that we really appreciate sharing this space with us, like, we can't even make a car payment. We can't even, like, with how much we make on YouTube, we can't even buy a week of groceries with how much we make on YouTube a month. What we've made in the last like 2 years, I can make in like a month of doing hair, and it's just taking so much from us.
And one thing to add to that is, I think we had a mindset about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, where it was like we didn't expect to have any like complete financial compensation. It was like really an investment. And what's different now, and what will probably subside a little bit for us, but getting a house and a truck and settling down, and Elliot with their photography business and also with doing some hairstyling, like already quickly making way more money than we've made in a long time. We just found ourselves a little bit more resentful that we were spending like a 40-hour week to create a video and then seeing this happening. So we just found ourselves like way more resentful of this process than we ever have before.
And like, don't get me wrong, like this YouTube channel and like having this be a way that we can like sustain ourselves and to like support ourselves as artists is like still my biggest dream. But at this crossroads, it's just we have to ask ourselves, is the amount of energy that we're devoting to this endeavor paying off? I mean, we have a mortgage now, we have a lot of expenses that we didn't have when we just like lived in a vehicle, and we also are going to have new time commitments because we do have to be earning money. Like, we've been living off savings for the last year and a half, and at this point, like, the time to like start making money is now. I like get very emotional because this has been my biggest dream and we gave it everything we had. Like, we have been so committed to this and it's been such a beautiful journey. I don't want you to think we've taken for granted or like don't really cherish like how wonderful it's been to be creators and artists. Like, you know, even like, you know, like spending nights sleeping in McDonald's parking lot so Matt can finish uploading videos, or like just all the things. Like, it's all been such a fun and interesting journey, but we're tired. It seems like we're just meeting these barriers, we're in these blocks, and like it's such a joyous thing to create and share, but if it isn't supporting our family or bringing ease to us, then we have to make sure we're directing our energy to a way that can do that.
And that's not to say that we're going to quit, right? It's just that I think for the first time we allowed ourselves to be like, do we have to keep doing this? And there was something really empowering about asking that question and not doing something because a previous old self was so determined. Like, that's where then we're like, is this pride? Is this ego? Like, what's really serving us? And like this particular week, to use as an example, we had Uma on screen time, which we haven't done for months and months and months, but we've just like fallen into that trap because we so badly need time to be able to work on this. And I know that people are like, don't listen to the negative comments, but they like do have an effect on you, and we delete them and we try to get to them before other people see them. But like, it's not even like troll comments. We've seen those before where people like think we're an abomination. Like, that stuff really does not faze us. But like, when you spend a 40-hour week and you're trying to provide a resource of how to find free food, and you see comments that are like, I work really hard for my money to feed my family, or comments that are like, how is this at all helpful? This is just specifically local to you. Why would you waste your time talking about this? And you know who you are. There's so many of you that say such positive, beautiful things, and that is like 95% of the comments. But it's just hard when like, not only are you putting all this time and we're not getting financially compensated the way that we had hoped, and then you read these comments, it's like our souls just feel a little beaten down at the moment.
And we work really hard every week to make these videos and to showcase like our journey of learning and unlearning and living intentionally. And like, sometimes these comments of like criticism of our lifestyle choices and critiques on our parenting can start to feel like really disheartening and make you feel like really like vulnerable. And like, I feel like I'm a very confident person, and they get under my skin and can make me feel insecure, and we're just on our own journey of learning. And when you expose that journey of learning, yeah, the criticism can get a little exhausting. And it's just like, if this is taking so much of our time and energy, and if feeling like being observed is sometimes emotionally draining, and then like just YouTube and the algorithm is just not putting this stuff out there, we just have to stop and be like, what are the reasons that we would continue going forward with this?
What are the reasons for you right now?
The reasons going forward is it just feels so important during like these times to share like ways that you can like reimagine what life is like on this planet, and to like imagine living like a simple life, and to like break out of old paradigms, and to see living like for me, like what made me want to like create a YouTube channel is how life-changing some of like the YouTubers I discovered like half a decade ago, and how they just totally transformed and inspired my life. And I was like, I want our journey of learning and of being on this journey of life to inspire others, not because we know everything, but because we're trying something different, and because we are, you know, queer people that don't fit into this world, so it can help people see other ways of maybe living and thinking. And that does feel like a beautiful endeavor, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop making videos.
When I like get past the fatigue and the insecurity of this week that has for some reason really hit us hard, there is something internal within me that feels this like real urge to be artists and to be meaning makers, and not necessarily for other people but also for ourselves. Like even creating that little preview in the beginning, I was like, it's so neat that we have all of this in our journey, the ups and the downs documented, and we have these moving journal passages, and that to me is just so special, and I love committing to that craft. And I actually am interested to see what happens on the other side of this when right now Elliot's going to be the first one to get like a more traditional job and see how that goes. And I'm interested to see what happens with our art and our storytelling when we're not expecting it to make anything. I think we've put too much heaviness, and that's just like a really intense energy to put on something that's supposed to be light and creative and fun. And just for us to move into that space, not out of obligation. Yes, we must post every week, and yes, we need to be successful and hit our analytics that YouTube gives us, but instead SEOs and all of the algorithms, and just like removing all of that and just getting back to the pure pursuit of creativity and storytelling, and to do it for us, just for us, not out of any expectation.
With all of that said, this is like an ongoing journey, and with creating just for us means making sure that we are just creating in an authentic way, and that might mean showing up less frequently. That might mean like we're still showing up every week. We don't know what that means. You'll be on that journey with us. And
let me ask you this question. Are we selling the van?
Are we selling the van? We sold the van already. Here's a little video of it driving off. I got teary-eyed because it was just like the end of a chapter, the end of an era, and it was such a beautiful one, but it reached its natural end, and I am so excited to move into our house, but it just feels like such a tender time of such dramatic changes for us. So I'm just trying to really like be with all of that too.
So we did sell the van. We've been doing a lot all at once, which is probably what's affecting our emotional state at the moment. But not only did we sell the van, which was our little home, and also felt like we were saying goodbye to a dream, but then we have our buying the house, and then we bought something else, which I think we should just give them like a really brief tour. I know it's not that big of a deal, but would you mind giving them a little tour if we move it over there?
Yeah, sure. So since we are going to have a small little like farmstead homestead, we did need a farm vehicle, aka a farm truck. So me, Pepperoni, as Uma has named her. She's a Toyota Tundra 2006, 4-door obviously for Uma. Look at these badass tires.
Yeah, I don't know what those skulls mean, but they need to go.
And we've got this covered topper here. You don't get my pants.
I didn't.
Wear PJs. Covered topper, so we can fit a bunch of stuff in there, and we already are planning some little camping trips for this winter, so we can stuff all of our like tent and our camping gear in there to go on some adventures.
It actually was exactly a year ago when we were driving home from traveling about a half of a year in a tent, and we were driving home thinking we wanted to get a Tundra, because remember we were gonna get a big Lear topper and like convert the back and sleep in a truck and do a lot of like off-grid camping. Thank God we changed our minds, because Lears were like impossible to find. So then we're like, let's just go back to the van idea, because this would not have worked for us, but it's fun.
It would have definitely not been as comfy.
No, and not as convenient, but it's kind of fun because a year later we now are getting the Tundra, but it's for our new farmstead, homestead life. And Elliot thought it was too big for them, but I'm so pleased. And you like it now, right?
I do, yeah. I thought it was gonna be scary to drive, but I'm like, oh yeah, we drove a transit van, so this feels much easier.
And I have to say, if you asked me 10 years ago if we'd be moving out to the country to begin a homesteading life and have a red little cottage and a red big truck, I would have like thought you were completely fooling me. But it's just so fun how unexpected life really is. And I know we've been kind of depressing and you're not used to seeing that side of us, but we also just like are human, and this is just like what we're feeling and what we're experiencing. And thank you for providing space for us. And then we can't state enough that like like our whining and our complaining and our sadness right now has nothing to do with you, because you are the reasons why we continue to show up and feel so connected and feel so loved. And I don't want to put any guilt or shame on you. It's you. You're the reasons why we are here and why we love it so much. And we want to thank you for holding space for us to have some of these more complex emotions that we don't tend to share on this channel.
So I guess on that note, this week really is exciting for us because we are moving into our house and we cannot wait to show you guys the house and give you a little tour of it. So I promise, turn on that bell next Sunday morning, you will have a video of a tour of our new little cottage in the woods. So stay tuned, be here. I think we'll probably do a premiere so we can...
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a live chat so you can ask any questions.
Yeah, we're gonna do a live chat, so as you tour it, you can chat with us, and we're just really, really excited. So see you guys next week for our house tour. We seriously love you so much. We're so grateful that you're here with us. So thank you.